And this is a little secret for getting a better grip on your screwdriver bit. A piece of bicycle chain will do to secure a pipe firmly. You don't have a sander handy? No problem, you can easily make one yourself. It's suitable not only for working with wood, but also for sharpening knives. You have to be extremely careful with the wires. This is not the way to do it. We advise to fix the tip first, using a rivet. It's very easy to do it. Construction materials are always difficult to transport. This trick will help you not to scratch the car. It may take ages to wait for the windows to open in the car. We need to do something about it urgently. We suggest using penetrating oil. Check it out, that's another thing. Making a perfect joint can be tricky, but we know how to pull it off. Use this smart hack. You probably know that metal expands when it's heated, which is good for us. Let's use it to fit plastic pieces. We put all the little things for storage in the boxes and screw them together with ease. The lid has expanded and now closes perfectly. At times, building pliers or cloth pegs turns out to be necessary at work. Let's put a little effort and make the tools ourselves. Unfortunately, a regular screwdriver can't always be used in hard-to-reach places. And believe me, there are quite a few of those. We found a way out of the situation and came up with a prolonger for drill bits. Let's see it in action. Wow, it really does work when you can reach it. We made it. We can check another box. Work is always dirty on a construction site, so you should always have paper towels handy. But it's not so easy to get them. We came up with the best way to pack the paper. An extra light source is always good, but where do you get it if you're in the countryside? A small lamp is not difficult to make with a plastic bottle and a flashlight or a phone. It's true, you will need some dexterity and something to attach it. Strip the wires, insert a plug into the hole in the bottle lid and fix it properly. You can attach the other part. Of course, that's not all. What's missing is the main thing, the light source. Done. We connect a power bank. Elbow joints are a very good thing. It's good to know that they can be used not only for their direct purpose, but also as a holder for gardening tools. They're so convenient. By the way, gardening tools can be short-lived. Never mind, we'll find another use for it. First, let's get rid of everything unnecessary. Believe me, what you're about to see will surprise you a little, but you will definitely not see such an item of interior design anywhere. And it requires very little, a rake and a couple of pieces of wood. I hope the dog won't mind. Well, here are the finishing touches. It already looks very unusual. Doesn't it remind you of anything?
Working with drywall can be difficult without the right techniques. To secure this cutout, we'll add a bit of furring strip to the inside, then add spackling to the edges. Press the cutout into the spackling, and then drill in a couple more screws. Finally, we'll add a coat of spackling to smooth everything out. If you need to get a spring around a screw, try using some spare wire. To join these two edges together, we'll be making a single rabbet joint. Cut the rabbet out using a table saw like so, and then add some finish nails into both sides. Check out that support. Our next quick project is to make a bellows, also known as an air blower. We'll simply hot glue some plastic tubing through the top of this bottle. Now we can blow away any dust and debris. Having difficulty picking up tiny washers? Let's make a quick pair of tweezers. Cut a hacksaw blade in half at a sharp angle and set a small washer in between the two blades. Tighten with a bolt and we're good to go. Now let's make some DIY furniture feet. Fill some hot glue around this bolt inside of a mold. Now add a nut onto the bolt. We can secure the feet to the bottom of the furniture by tightening on another nut. If you plan to replace your floor with tile, we recommend using a tile suction cup. It makes applying underlayment and placing the tile so much easier. How do we cut this irregular shape? Drill a hole into a thin piece of scrap wood and place a marker inside. Now we can trace it on the board and everything lines up. Next, we'll be making a compass for drawing circles. We want it to be large and heavy duty so we can use it for our woodworking and construction projects. We'll start by gluing two pieces of plywood together and marking a dot in the center of each end. Then we'll draw two circles around each dot, one slightly larger than the other. Next, we'll draw three lines, one connecting the two dots and two connecting the outer edge of each circle like so. Then we'll cut out the shape using a jigsaw. Next, we'll sand the edge using a belt sander. Drill holes into each dot using the thickness of the bolt as a reference. Then we'll split the two pieces apart, give them a light sanding, and brush them with a varnish. This will keep the wood from warping. Now, install a bolt, washer, and a wing nut. We'll install a pencil into one end, and then hot glue a tack into the other end. Adjust accordingly to make the correct size circle. Every workshop could use some more storage space. Here's a neat way to make some extra hidden shelves. Simply screw a single slat onto a 2x2 and then screw that to the bottom side of a wooden shelf. Now we can store all of our things in this plastic tub. And when we're done, we'll hang the plastic tub up like so. Next, we'll be making a nutcracker with a really interesting design. Start by cutting out two circles of wood, where one is about twice as large as the other. Next, we'll drill 3 equidistant holes in each circle, then cut 3 equal-sized pieces of rebar and grind down the edges. Hammer the circles into the rebar. Now drop a walnut inside and twist. For our next project, we'll be making a manual airbrush. We'll start by cutting this 1/2-inch aluminum tubing to about 8 inches in length. Then we'll cut this 1/4-inch aluminum tubing to 2 inches. Hammer one end flat and drill a hole into the top. Now we'll connect the two tubes by adding some hot glue inside and around the hole. Then place the 1/2-inch tube inside. Now add more glue around the outside to make sure it's completely sealed. Next, we'll drill 2 holes into the lid on opposite sides, one large and one small. We'll need a thin plastic tube, so we can use the inside of this pen. Place our aluminum tubes into the larger hole on the lid and seal it with glue. Do the same with the plastic tube into the smaller hole. It should look something like this. Now we'll add some support using this metal bracket and some screws. Place the bracket underneath the tubes and mount it to the lid using screws. Now we'll add more hot glue connecting the bracket to the tubes. Remove the lid and fill the jar with paint. Dilute the paint with water and stir it up. Tighten the lid back on, and now we've made ourselves a manual airbrush. For our last project, we'll be making salt and pepper shakers. We want to saw off 4-inch blocks from this 2x2 piece of scrap wood. Next, we'll trace a line from corner to corner to mark the center. We'll attach a 1.5-inch drill bit into our drill press and then drill a hole that goes almost all the way through the block. Next, we'll draw a circle in the center of the opposite side, then mark the dots for the holes to pour out the salt and pepper. You can make as many as you like and in any design that suits you. Next, we'll drill out the holes that we marked. As you can see, our holes pass through the wood. Lastly, we'll make the stopper. We'll use calipers to measure the hole and find a dowel that matches the size. Cut out the circles about 1/2 inch thick and place them into the bottom of the shakers. Now we'll give our shakers a light sanding. Then we'll brush on a coat of varnish on all sides. After the varnish dries, fill the salt shakers with salt and pepper.